All right, live look right now at the White House, where, as we told you earlier at the top of this newscast, tomorrow night, President Biden will deliver a rare Oval Office address about the ongoing conflicts in both Israel and Ukraine. That address coming after President Biden completed a historic visit today to wartime Israel, announcing $100 million in humanitarian aid to war victims in Gaza, and saying he plans to ask Congress for an unprecedented support package for Israel's defense. With more, we are joined once again by retired Marine intelligence officer and global security expert Hal Kempfer. Hal, it's good to see you again. Thanks for being with me.
Good to see you, Marla.
Okay, I want to start by getting your thoughts on this primetime address from the Oval Office that will happen in less than 24 hours. What does this tell you about the seriousness of America's involvement in these conflicts?
Well, we are involved. We have a carrier task force sitting off the coast. We have another one coming in. We have a Marine Expeditionary Unit. That's over 2,000 Marines that will be sitting off the coast soon. And we've got another 2,000 various different units that may be going in there. You know, we got protests, very violent protests with arson around the U.S. Embassy in Beirut. He's got to prepare the nation for what's coming. He's got to prepare the nation for what Iran might do, what Hezbollah might do. And he's also going to talk about this in context of the war in Ukraine and how this is putting a strain on U.S. resources and what the U.S. must do to meet our obligations across the board.
Can we expect American troops to get involved in this conflict?
I don't know. I keep hearing no boots on the ground, but the president was a little vague today when he was talking about how we're going to get our hostages back. And frankly, we, like any other country, can use our full resources to get our U.S. citizens back if they're being held by terrorists. Obviously, something we have to coordinate very closely if we were to use our own troops to go into, say, Gaza to get some of them back. But I have a feeling there's a lot of coordination going on across the board, and I'm not quite sure the level of U.S. participation. I would not be surprised to see possible airstrikes if Hezbollah gets involved. We might take part in that.
Do you, in all of your military expertise, think it's a good idea for American troops to get involved?
Well, there's a lot of reasons to say no, but it depends on the situation. And if Hezbollah rolls in, we've already made it clear to Iran, which is the primary backer of Hezbollah, and I should mention the primary backer of Hamas. We made it very clear to them what will happen if they get involved. And there is a scenario where Israel is fighting essentially a two-front war, one the south, one the north against Hezbollah. And Iran would weigh in some way, and then we would end up picking the bulk of the responsibility of keeping Iran at bay, if you will. And so that's how we might get involved. But then again, the hostage thing is another situation, and we do have unusual capabilities in that regard.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about that, because today Biden said that it was his highest priority is to get those hostages home. Every day that goes by, we're almost 2 weeks into this. What does it mean for those hostages, Hal?
It's tougher and tougher. You know, for some of them, they have medications they have not been able to get. The longer it goes on, the worse it gets for hostages. Some of them are probably injured. I'm not sure what type of medical care they got. But frankly, these are things that you'd like to resolve a lot faster if you can. I think there's a lot of things that we're not seeing that's going on behind the scenes diplomatically, working with some of the other countries, not working with Israel, but working with some of the other countries around there to see if there's some other pathway to get them back and to avoid some of the pitfalls of the past where it's a straight across trade. Because right now, politically in Israel, straight across trade is just not going to happen. So I think you're going to see the full breadth of what the U.S. brings, but I also think you might be seeing some quiet diplomacy by some of the neighboring Arab countries that probably don't want to talk about it publicly, but privately, that's a different dialogue.
All right, lastly, you were last with us on Friday, and we asked you about the, quote, imminent ground invasion. You said that you wouldn't be surprised if it would have happened over the weekend, meaning last weekend. We're almost to this next weekend. What's the IDF waiting for?
Preparation, from what I gather. They're watching Hezbollah closely up in the north, of course, and there have been some back and forth things across the border, so they're very concerned about that. They're watching what Iran does, but also they're making sure that their troops are fully prepared. A lot of what they're doing is called in preparation of the battle, intelligence preparation of the battle space. They're trying to figure out what are they going to encounter, and then how are they going to do their mission while avoiding civilian casualties. There's a lot that goes into that, and I have to say one thing is they seem to be taking the time to make sure they're better prepared, and that bodes well for whatever they end up doing.
All right, retired Marine Intelligence Officer Hal Kempfer, as always, appreciate your perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, Marla.